Well, I'm sick of hearing about the menopause. I'm 74, and obviously I've gone through the menopause, and I do understand that a lot of women take HRT, which improves it. I didn't take it. But at the end of the day, you just get on with it. I mean, we just like say, oh, we used to call it a private holiday, get our little battery fan out. If you get ratty, I mean, in my job, if I got ratty, I would be in big trouble anyway, because I worked on telephones.
I do understand what you're saying, that, you know, back in the day, women just sort of shut up and put up. But I wonder whether, because obviously you dealt with menopause very, very well and maybe didn't have as harsh symptoms as some women do have. And I wonder whether actually, even though you managed to get by, although lots of women will have left the workplace in years gone by, whether actually we need to look at making things easier for women. We need to look at things, making things better for women, rather than insisting that we all continue to struggle on.
I think you should learn to control yourself. I mean, this is a normal thing. It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happens. I mean, I'm sick of hearing about it. There's going to be people actually that are going to use it to get what they want. I mean,
well, that does go for everything, Jean, but and anything. But I do take your point. But I'm going to put that to Laura. Do you hear this quite a lot, that we just need to shut up about the menopause? We've gone through it for millennia, and women just need to be able to deal with it.
I think the only people that say that are people who either haven't experienced it severely or haven't had the impacts that some other women have had, or they've sailed through menopause and that's brilliant for them, that's fantastic, or they are usually a man.
Okay, well, I don't know which
they don't go through it.
Which category Jean fits in there, but I appreciate your call nonetheless, Jean. Julie from West Midlands, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think it would be much better if bosses were trained. I went through menopause symptoms. I didn't know what they were. All I knew was that I was very tired all the time. I was managing a team, and the job was quite a stressful job. And all I knew was I felt dreadful. And I went to my doctor, and he said that my blood pressure was way over high, that I was anxious, and I wasn't sleeping, and they gave me sleeping medication. And unfortunately, I asked for a career break, unpaid, from my employer, and for 6 months, because I was in a position to do that. I'd worked all my life, and they did say, well, look, we can let you have 3 months out, but not the 6 that I wanted. So I ended up leaving, and I was 45, and I thought, well, you know, I'll find another job. I thought maybe take 6 months, a year out, you know, to reset and feel myself again, because you want to go back to your previous self. That's how you feel. Well, why is this happening? I just want to be how I was before, and juggling and doing all the work, and you couldn't do it.
Julie, it's heartbreaking to hear your story. I wonder what your company could have done to make the workplace and the environment a little bit more bearable for you, so you didn't even have to take the 3 months off. Would there have been any way you could have continued working?
Well, maybe. I mean, my shift sort of did work before. I was working over and taking work home, but I mean, that was just the job. So I could have maybe gone to a less demanding job. But I don't know, because the symptoms were there and the sleeplessness, and I'm not sure it was the job, because I'd always worked in that sort of environment and coped, and I really do believe it was the menopause, and I do believe, given the sleeping medication and the not picking up, maybe this is menopause, because it was so taboo, really, and this is only 15 years ago, but it was quite taboo, and women who were suffering menopause and had hot sweats, they were sort of a bit of a figure of ridicule. You know, you'd have sort of nicknames given to them, so you wouldn't want to think, oh, I've got this, because then you're in that group. You know, this is how the work dynamic is sometimes, so it was.
Yeah, well, and you think maybe with a bit of training that dynamic could change? It may still be that way in some work environments. Hopefully not to the extent it was in the past. But obviously, if you had known that you had menopause, Julie, you could have got appropriate medication. Things could have been easier in that way. But I'm really sorry to hear what had happened to you. Thank you very much for your call.